In the vibrant tapestry of early 20th century Vienna, a city pulsating with intellectual ferment and artistic revolution, a young physician was quietly charting a course that would redefine the very essence of human existence. This was Viktor Frankl, a name that would one day echo through the halls of psychology and philosophy. But in those nascent years, he was a budding force, navigating a world on the cusp of unimaginable change. Vienna, a city of grand boulevards and hushed whispers in intellectual cafes, was the crucible where Frankl's radical ideas about meaning, purpose, and the human spirit first took root. He wasn't content to merely follow in the footsteps of giants like Freud and Adler, whose theories dominated the psychiatric landscape. No, Frankl dared to challenge the prevailing orthodoxies, proposing that beyond pleasure and power, humanity's deepest drive was a will to meaning. This wasn't just academic discourse, it was a personal conviction forged in the competitive and often contentious Viennese intellectual scene, where rivalries simmered beneath the surface of polite academic debate. He was an outsider, a bold voice challenging the status quo, even as the shadows of a looming global conflict began to lengthen across Europe, threatening to engulf everything he held dear. The year is 1942. The vibrant intellectual life of Vienna is extinguished, replaced by the chilling grip of Nazi tyranny. Viktor Frankl, a man whose life was dedicated to healing and understanding, now found himself plunged into an abyss of unimaginable horror. He, along with his young wife Tilly, his parents, and his brother, were among the millions systematically stripped of their freedom and humanity. The journey began in cattle cars, a suffocating prelude to the inferno awaiting them. Theresienstadt, Auschwitz, Dachau, names that forever stain the pages of history, became Frankl's grim reality. In these death camps, amidst starvation, disease, and the constant threat of extermination, Frankl bore witness to the absolute nadir of human cruelty. Yet even in this hell on earth, something extraordinary began to emerge. Stripped of everything, his family, his dignity, his very identity, he observed a profound truth. Those who found a reason to live, a purpose, however small, were the ones most likely to survive. He ministered to fellow prisoners, offering words of comfort and, more importantly, a glimmer of hope. It was here, in the depths of human suffering, that his theory of logotherapy transcended mere academic concept. It became a lifeline, a testament to the unyielding power of the human spirit to find meaning even in the face of absolute despair. What are your thoughts on Frankl's resilience in such unimaginable circumstances? How do you think you would find meaning if everything you held dear was stripped away? Share your reflections in the comments below. The liberation of the concentration camps brought a freedom that was both intoxicating and agonizing. For Viktor Frankl, the joy of survival was immediately overshadowed by a desperate, heartbreaking search for his loved ones. He scoured lists, traveled endlessly, clinging to the smallest thread of hope. But the truth, when it finally arrived, was a devastating blow. His wife, Tilly, his parents, and his brother, all had perished in the Holocaust. The man who had found meaning in the face of collective suffering now faced an intensely personal, unbearable grief. How does one rebuild a life, much less a philosophy, when the very foundations of one's world have been so utterly decimated? Frankl's response was not to succumb to despair, but to embody the very essence of his life's work. He channeled his profound sorrow into the completion of his seminal book, Man's Search for Meaning, a raw, honest account of his experiences and the profound insights gleaned from them. This book, born from the ashes of personal tragedy, became a beacon of hope for millions, a testament to the human capacity to transform suffering into triumph, and to find meaning even in the most profound and irreparable loss. Thank you so much for staying with us on this incredibly moving journey. The best is truly yet to come as we delve deeper into Frankl's remarkable legacy. From the devastation of the camps, Viktor Frankl emerged not as a victim, but as a prophet of meaning. His logotherapy, a psychological approach centered on finding purpose, began its quiet yet inexorable march across the globe. Man's Search for Meaning, initially published in 1946, slowly but surely became a phenomenon, translating into dozens of languages and selling millions of copies worldwide. Frankl, once a challenging voice in Viennese academic circles, was now an internationally renowned figure, invited to lecture at universities and conferences across continents. His work resonated deeply in a post-war world, grappling with existential questions and the trauma of mass destruction. He wasn't just a theoretician, he was a living embodiment of his philosophy. Yet, with his rise to prominence came the inevitable scrutiny and debate. Some criticized his focus on meaning as potentially overlooking other psychological needs, while others embraced his message as a revolutionary antidote to the growing sense of nihilism in modern society. Despite the varying receptions, Frankl's core message remained steadfast, that even in the most extreme circumstances, humanity possesses the freedom to choose its attitude and find meaning, turning tragedy into triumph. Beyond the iconic figure and the profound philosopher, who was Viktor Frankl, the man? He was a meticulous individual, known for his sharp intellect and a dry wit that often surprised those who expected only somber gravitas. While his public life was dedicated to spreading his message, his private world held its own nuances. There were whispers of his meticulous habits, his passion for mountaineering, a symbolic pursuit of conquering challenges, much like his philosophical endeavors. While no salacious gossip in the modern sense surrounds him, the academic world of the mid-20th century was certainly not devoid of rivalries and subtle intrigues. Frankl, with his bold new school of thought, certainly found himself at odds with established figures, defending his unique perspective against those who clung to older paradigms. Yet he persevered, driven by an unwavering belief in the human capacity for self-transcendence. His later years were filled with honors and accolades, but his message never wavered, that life's true richness lies not in what we expect from life, but in what life expects from us. His legacy isn't just a collection of theories, it's a timeless invitation to confront suffering with courage, to choose meaning over despair, and to live a life that, no matter the obstacles, truly matters. The story of Viktor Frankl isn't merely a historical account. It's a profound mirror reflecting our own struggles and triumphs. His life unequivocally proves that even in the direst circumstances, the human spirit can find purpose and maintain dignity. What insights has this journey offered you regarding your own life and its challenges? We value your perspective immensely, so please share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing to our channel for more inspiring content. And be sure to check out our next recommended video, where we'll explore the fascinating connection between psychological resilience and everyday well-being.